I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big exciting elements of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker has all to do with how J.J. Abrams is going to introduce new elements of Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, and how that's all going to be used as a way to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren from start to finish of this story. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, we are just 50 plus days away from the release of Episode 9, just under 2 months until we get to see the final installment of the Skywalker saga. 30 plus years in the making, more like 40 plus years in the making, that was actually started by George Lucas back in 1977. Now, with that being said, we do know that this film has a lot of nostalgia that's being thrown into it, and that's a real big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm, because we do know that nostalgia has to make a lot of sense in order for it to work correctly for the fans. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are said to be traveling to one of Palpatine's abandoned Imperial bases, where it's said that they are in search of ancient Sith lore that will help Kylo Ren and the Knights to understand the very depth of the dark side itself of the Force. It's explained that eventually Kylo and his Knights of Ren break into Palpatine's vault, where they are said to discover a large hollow projector, where once Kylo is said to activate, it's described that a large hologram of Darth Maul begins to play in front of Ren, talking about the new secrets of the Force and the dark side. It's explained that the Darth Maul hologram that was recorded months before the events of The Phantom Menace goes over how the dark side was the creation by one of the fallen wills, who are godlike beings, and that it's explained that the Maul hologram explains that the wills are constantly testing and challenging Force sensitives throughout the entire galaxy, and were directly responsible for the great divide between the Jedi and the Sith by introducing them to the power of the Beyond, which is said to exceed both the dark side and the light side of the Force. Additionally, it's explained that Maul's hologram unveils that the dark temples around the galaxy are said to be the places of origin of the dark side of the Force, and that the first dark side temples reside over in the Beyond. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about this that is really risky by Disney and Lucasfilm is because this changes how we view how the dark and the light side of the Force really works. Essentially, it's the literal creation of the wills themselves. Now, the wills, in case you guys have no idea what they are, these are godlike beings, deities if you will, created by George Lucas when he was writing Star Wars: A New Hope. We never really got to see the wills on the big screen, and that's exactly, what J.J. Abrams wants to do by referencing them and at least somehow incorporating them into the very end of the Skywalker saga to really wrap it all together into this big 9-part story of the Star Wars universe. Now, with that being said, this Darth Maul hologram that Kylo Ren comes across is said to unveil these secrets of the dark side and of the Force itself. Now, the secret of the dark side here is that the dark side itself was actually created by one of the fallen wills. Now, a fallen will, from what it seems, essentially is a dark side will, if you will, right? A dark side oriented godlike being that was able to create the dark side itself by creating the Beyond. And in case you guys are just tuning in right now, the Beyond is essentially the most powerful Force nexus there is in the Star Wars universe, specifically in that particular galaxy, that Palpatine's new home world is said to reside just near it. So the new world, called Exegol, which is the location of Palpatine's new Sith Empire in the upcoming film, resides just next to the Beyond, the most powerful Force nexus, and is said to be the very center of the origins of the dark side. Now, the other piece that really surprises me, of course, is how Maul's hologram is said to explain to Kylo Ren indirectly that, of course, the wills are constantly testing and challenging Force sensitives throughout the entire galaxy and, of course, in the entire universe to see exactly how far these Force sensitives can really go, and that they were the ones directly responsible for the great divide between the Jedi and the Sith many years before the events of the prequel trilogy era, by introducing them to this power called the Beyond. Now, the power of the Beyond is said to exceed the dark and the light combined, and you can only imagine how powerful Palpatine really is going to be in this movie by utilizing the power of the Beyond and using it upon both Rey and Kylo Ren. In fact, it's one of the main reasons as to why Palpatine is able to use the ability called Force Conduit, which he is going to be able to drain the energy from both Rey and Kylo Ren in this particular film. That's going to rejuvenate him, not as far as strength goes, but also as far as how his appearance will be in the movie, in a more youthful design like how he was in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So looking forward to that as well. This film does have a lot of potential to mark itself down as the best of the sequel trilogy without a doubt, and hopefully J.J. Abrams will be able to knock it out of the park. Anyways guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.